Wonderful morning to you out there. It's really great to have you on the Break It On Papers Review. This wonderful Saturday morning is coming to you live on your laughter dial, 32 FM 94.9, and I'm GBOLABO, famous school. We'll look at some of the headlines this morning from some of the national dailies here in Nigeria. We have the Punch newspaper, Nigerian Tribune newspaper, The Nation, the Vanguard, the Guardian, and all the host of other papers here for review. We'll start off very quickly with the Punch newspaper, and this says EFCC battles internal scandals as operatives loot recovered assets. Popular Lagos-based musician Mukaila Senwele is dead. Oshomole retired general straight tackles over illegal mining. Why I shed tears after students celebrated me, OAU lecturer. And viral video. 36-year-old charged with defrauding 400 Americans in U.S. Mercy Chinwo versus EZT. EFCC backs down as contract dispute rages on. Why I dumped acting in U.S. Bookie Wright speaks. And more headlines from the Metro Plus page of the Punch newspaper this morning. Bandits kill 27-year-old, abduct 5 in Kaduna. Lagos short Ushu, the pedestrian bridge over safety concerns. Police arrest 2 suspected kidnappers of ex-EIG Odumos's wife. And before we leave the Punch newspaper, from the business side, this says Steel Ministry denies budget infraction. All of that is some of the headlines here out of the Punch newspaper. And still the Break It On Papers Review, and of course we're looking at the Nation newspaper now. Right on the front page of the Nation, $2.5 billion Mambila power dispute. What Obasanjo Buhari told Pari Court. How Edo-based couple stole 12 children from Ondo or shown in 2 years. Police arrest suspected kidnappers of ex-AIG Odumos's wife. And LP members and NAS raise alarm over missing Anambra lawmaker. Tinubu ACF authors pay tribute as Jerry Oseni dies at 82. Kanduje Abe Afikuyomi orders get board chairmanships. Oseni exit of the Langtang-born fighter. And here we are with more stories on the Nations. And there's a bit of sport. And this says Rogers and Teeth sign multi-year deal. And more story from the angle. APC chieftain Awodeyi Akinse-Shinwa congratulates board appointees. Reps Committee clarifies law on 7 lawmakers contesting and by-election. Tinubu appoints APC woman leader Lile, chairman of FMC Asaba. And youth group urges Seyi Tinubu to contest a Lagos governorship election. All right, all of that are from the Nation newspaper this morning. We'll take a look at the Vanguard also and pick some headlines out of the Vanguard here on the front page. United Airlines, how 245 Washington-bound passengers survived near air mishap. And that's coming from some of the account of the witnesses on board. Meeting with Tinubu, Wike Fubara refused to greet each other. Danger, weird things women do to appear attractive. That's a bit of lifestyle. More latest news here. Growing insecurity, bloodshed, bad testimonial for Nigeria coming from Bishop Uka. No dispute between the SOPADEC, Governor Sheriff and contractors forum. United Airlines, how 245 Washington-bound passengers survive near air mishap taken earlier. Delta government confirms cholera outbreak. And more here says retired military generals behind illegal mining. That's according to former governor Oshomole and now senator. My father-in-law offered me 50,000 naira for an affair after I decided to divorce. All right, that's a bit of the Metro Plus page of the Vanguard. We remain big, united, and Southeast coming from the PDP. All of that are out of the Vanguard this morning. We take a look at the cable and also pick some headlines here out of the cable NG. And let's see how that pans as to look up at some of the headlines making rounds on the front page of the cable. All right, we'll take this one. Tinubu commends Finnish government for arresting, detaining Simon Ekpa. All right, that appears to be one of the big story here on the cable. Tinubu approves 32.7 billion naira for social investment program to support vulnerable groups. 6 sustained serious injuries. Fan gives update on United Airlines emergency landing. Bala Mohammed, Wike is a liability in Tinubu's government. Okay, more headlines says exclusive setback hits Sunrise Power in $2.35 billion Mambila arbitration as key witnesses failed to show up. Terrorists planning to attack public gatherings in Kano, say police. Passengers injured as technical issues force US-bound flight to return to Lagos. And we have more here. Police arrest 2 for kidnapping retired AIG Odumos's wife. Obiti police replicate prompt rescue of retired AIG's wife with ordinary Nigerians. Couple miraculously survives as container-laden truck falls on car in Lagos. And Shetima in Davor, I don't believe in aid. I did rather carry my poverty with dignity. All right, all of that is some of the headlines there out of the cable. Before we join Austin, he's standing by virtually to do the analysis proper with us this morning. Let's also take a look at the Guardian front page. Here on the Guardian, Kano anti-corruption chairman Muhuyi Magaji in police custody. All right, more headlines here says how Abacha escaped coup at the last minute in 1997. Diaz, former CSO. All right, core members get 3.25 million naira grant for business startups, while intelligence on end bad governance protest was not released. Police giving explanation. Tinubu appoints new chairman of Uni Abuja Teaching Hospital. More headlines. Tribal collection, a love letter to Africa's cultures teenager. Prioritize creative sector. Culture heads urge government. A bit of lifestyle there. All right, we'll take more here. Let Nigerians enjoy savings from subsidy remover. Food security. NIMET, MTN tomorrow.io partner on weather advisories to Nigerian farmers. All the news now. What Lagos honors first female speaker of Lagos Assembly. Tinubu appoints Ganduje Abe Afikuyomi orders as board chairpersons. ACF Muftuwang Makmon General Jeremiah Useni. Retired generals powerful elites behind illegal mining in Nigeria. Oshamole alleges. And on that note, we bring Austin on board to do the analysis proper with us this morning. Austin, good morning. It's great to have you join us on the Break It Down Papers review.
Good morning, GBOLABO, and thank you for having me.
All right, Austin. Let's quickly look at this allegation coming from Oshamale. And this is a huge one. He's saying retired generals, powerful elite behind illegal mining in Nigeria. And that's a huge allegation. He is saying, as a matter of fact, that illegal activities in Nigeria in terms of mining here are from influential elite. Now, do you think Oshomole should be speaking to the police or DSS to give more information on this?
Yes, I think on one hand, he could be invited to provide insight. Perhaps he has some evidence because the allegations were quite weighty. But between you and I, it takes two to tango. Mining, bunkering, oil theft, they are businesses not for the common man in Nigeria. We know that. It is an elitist business. It is a business for the rich guys in our society, those who have the world chest in terms of resources, those who have connection in terms of power brokers. For example, some former top military guys have oil wells in the country. So Oshomole, one hand is re-echoing the obvious. On the other hand, it may also be useful in providing information. Perhaps he could have just spoken without having some people in mind. If you know the activity that is going on in our mineral sector, in our natural resources sector in Nigeria, you will weep for our country. Plus or minus over 50% in the extractive content that we have is being frittered away without passing through government sources. And it's a major challenge that we have today. Why do you think, as a country, we have not been able to surmount the problem of oil theft? It is because the powerful guys are involved. The real powerful guys are involved in this business. Those who make governments, those who help people to get to power, those who are influential, those who have also contributed to the problems that we have had in Nigeria. So that is just the basic truth. I saw the Naval Control Center, I think about 3 years ago, the new Naval Control Center, where they monitor activities in the Niger Delta. When I saw it, I now concluded that the powerful people are involved in oil theft, for example. Look at illegal mining, for example. Look at the explosion that happened in Oyo State. I think it's a year ago now. It's exactly 1 year now. What has happened? Powerful people are involved. Look at the mining in Osun State. Powerful people are involved. Look at Zamfara. Powerful people are involved. If powerful people are not involved, those boys that are just on the side tilling the ground cannot have the infantry. At times when you raid them, when you arrest them, their godfather will press 1 or 2 buttons. So, but the most important thing is that government should look for a way to maximize some of these natural resources that we have. A lot is really going into the hands of private individuals in the country. Sometimes ago, a former military general came out to estimate the millions of dollars he has made from oil well in a country that people are multidimensionally poor. Over half of the population of the country are multidimensionally poor. And you have somebody making about 3 digits in millions of dollar figure from what should belong to everyone. So it is what it is. So right. I agree, if the police want to work with Oshomole or the DSS, let them go ahead and work with him. But I know Oshomole is stating the obvious because he's also an elite. He belongs to the class one way or the other.
All right, Austin, let's quickly look at the emergency landing by the airline that was banned to go to Washington, D.C., Dulles International Airport in the U.S. Now, six people are said to have sustained serious injuries, and FAN gives updates on United Airlines emergency landing. Now, this is something that Nigerians have always prayed against, that this shouldn't happen after the Sosoliso ADC flight mishap. And it's still fresh in the memories of many people who lost loved ones, even those who don't even have loved ones. You still have those memories, scary and very fresh in our minds as Nigerians. At this time and age, should we have this kind of thing happening? We know that it's a global phenomenon. But now let's look at the stance of Coco, the FAN MD. She's been saying, and she's been very angry with people, saying that she must justify some of this monies meant for upgrade of the airport, especially the runway upgrade. But she did indeed said she's going to resign if she feels that the job is putting much pressure on her and that she's ready to ruffle feathers, meaning that there are some cabals within the aviation sector that do not want things to work. Should Keyamo, the Minister of Aviation, and the MD of FAN be sitting on a hot seat right about now as to why do we have this kind of embarrassment? Is it that they failed to do their duty, or this is an oversight? What do we say here?
Well, I think it's about 2 issues, if I get it correctly, that we are just raising now. We talk about the issue of management and governance in the aviation sector. Who is doing what is right and who is taking things for granted. On the other hand, we are very delighted that what could have been like an emergency, a national disaster, was averted. The plane, after takeoff, developed technical issues and they had to return to Lagos for an emergency landing. I think that aspect is the cherry news that we need to focus on. There are issues of crashes all over the country. Sometimes ago, I think exactly a year now, a prominent Nigerian, himself, the wife and the son, and another prominent Nigerian lost their life far away in the United States of America. I think 2 weeks ago, a plane also crash landed in Halifax. So we have multiple of all these cases due to maybe technical issue one way or the other. If there are issues that have to do with governance and the structure in aviation sector, of course, those that are responsible must be put to account. But we thank God for the grace that, of course, there were injury, but no life was lost. Up until now, there is no result or report that suggests there were human factors or human error as far as this is concerned. If it does the case of technical issue, engine failure, or what have you, it does happen. That is the point I'm making.
And so who takes responsibility, Austin? Who's going to take responsibility for those people who were injured? Are we going to see the airlines or those who are supposed to monitor here?
Of course, the airline would take care of them. The airline has checked them into a hotel, for example. If all the people on board has lost their life, it will be a different story that we'll be talking about. The point I'm making is that up until now, we have not even seen, even in the preliminary reports, that some people were culpable. This is an international airline, for crying out loud. So I'm just telling you that no matter how big the airline is, there can be technical issue, there can be engine turbulence that can lead to crash and loss of life of the people. But in this particular case, we have not been able to certify whether the aviation in Nigeria has a hand in this. We can't preempt anything. But I think the bottom line so far as this issue is concerned, is that all the people were saved. There were injuries. To be injured is better than to die at a glance. So that is the aspect of it. The airline, it is the business and the duty of the airline to take care of those affected in conjunction with the Ministry of Aviation vis-a-vis the Federal Airport Authority. So that is what is being, just like when you are driving your car and your tire suddenly busted. It can be due to anything. Do you go and arrest your mechanic that your tire busted on the top speed? Or do you go to the secretariat, the government house, to ask the government, why should that happen to you? So once it happened, the first thing that you talk about is safety. Lives were not lost, and that is the bottom line. If there is fault on the part of the operator, of course, a report will suggest that, and they will be able to work. It is not as if this airline was not supposed to fly and they decide to fly. We know airlines that are troubled within our country that you and I complain about. If it is this airline that we are talking about, it's a different case. But this is an international airline. So investigation is still ongoing. Let's see how it ends at the end of the day.
All right, Austin, let's look at this one. Police arrest 2 for kidnapping retired AIG Odumoso's wife. And elsewhere, we have Obiti police replicate prompt rescue of retired AIG's wife with ordinary Nigerians. Now, Obi's question here is that the promptness, why did it happen? Is it that all of a sudden we have our security getting it right by arresting these individuals? But some people in Nigeria, even children, have been vulnerable to all of these kidnappers. They kidnapped for months, some of them killed. Would we say that Obi is saying the obvious here, saying to police that replicate same action towards many other Nigerians?
Yes, Obi is saying the obvious. Obi is saying the obvious. It is also what it is. Whichever way you look at it, someone like Obi is not an ordinary Nigerian. By virtue of his position, there are security details assigned to him by the government. I don't know, GBOLABO, whether you have security detail assigned to you for your security. God forbid, if the same thing had happened to Obi, it will not be treated the same way it will be treated if it happened to a common man. I think the point of emphasis for what Obi is saying is, let government enhance security. What is good for an ordinary, what is good for the elite is also good for an ordinary Nigerian. I think that is the message. It's a clarion call, which the security operative and those in government will be able to look at. I could remember, I think in 2014 or thereabout, when the wife of Godwin Emefiele was kidnapped, helicopters were deployed in search of that particular woman. All government apparatus were discussed. In the animal kingdom, all animals are equal. But except we want to deceive ourselves, some are more equal than the other. The Akeem Odumosun was a retired AIG, Assistant Inspector General Police. The way the security operative will move as far as that issue is concerned will be different from if it were to be an ordinary Nigeria. Except we stand to deceive ourselves this morning. That's the truth. So I rejoice with the Odumosu family. Unfortunately, they lost one of their sons in the process. In the process of all of this, they lost one of their sons to auto crash again. He just retired after serving the country. So the emphasis is that let there be security for everybody. The government must guarantee security of life and property, irrespective of those that are involved. And security operative must move with utmost alertness and promptness in terms of rescue effort of victims of kidnappings and what have you. But like I said earlier, it is what it is. If it happened to me, God forbid, it could be different from if it happened to you. And if it happened to you, God forbid, it will be different from the way it will happen to a commissioner in your state. So it is just like that. It is what it is. But we hope that security will improve in Nigeria.
All right.
And such a thing will not continue to reoccur. There are common people that have been victims that are not even reported. Look at the news that we discussed, for example. There are some news we don't even talk about, but there are some people, anytime they make headline, we'll talk about them. That is the way the system works. But as time goes on, we'll continue to emphasize and preach equality, equal opportunity for everyone.
All right, Austin, let's take a look at this social safety net now. Tinubu approves 32.7 billion naira for social investment program to support vulnerable groups. And now the word vulnerable group is where many Nigerians are a little bit confused about. If you say some people are vulnerable, who is not vulnerable in Nigeria as it stands? And what is the criterion to begin to measure those who are vulnerable? Vulnerable to poverty, vulnerable to hunger? There's a lot of questions around this monies being earmarked for those who are the poorest of the poor. Now, the social safety net itself, should this be handled by the government? Because this appears to be like a juicy aspect of governance where people go into and become billionaires all of a sudden with properties to it. 32.7 billion naira. How many people are benefiting? Austin, do you think this should stop?
Yes, I feel that this money will not get to the targeted audience. That is my problem. If you look at the Buhari administration, cumulatively, the money Buhari spent on SIP, Social Investment Program, Buhari alone has spent more than all the previous government combined in Nigeria. But can you see the impact of that money? Because the money keep going to those that are not the targeted audience. All of us are not vulnerable the same way. My needs are different from your needs. There are some people in Nigeria today, 5,000 means a lot to them. There are some people, 100,000 means a lot to them. There are some people, 1 million means a lot to them. There are some people, if they have 100,000, if you give them 100,000, they will survive. That's the point we are making. A lot of us are affected by the economic situation in Nigeria, but some are more vulnerable. Somebody who does not know what to eat as a result of choices is different from somebody who is looking for what to eat without any choice. So that is the point we are making. The other time, a minister was suspended, a minister of government was suspended for lavishing the money that is meant to cater for vulnerable people. Look at those who headed that ministry, humanitarian ministry, under the last administration. A lot of funds were frittered. A minister wrote for an impress that she flew from Abuja to Lokoja, where there is no airport. And she even wrote for airport shuttle. So it's as bad as that. It's not as if government is not spending for the vulnerable, but the amount of money government is getting for the vulnerable, the rich people within the government, they are siphoning the money. That is the point. So for me, I think it's not necessary. Let government identify what can be done with this money. How does it affect the common man? Right from the day of Shopee, I know some people who are working, who are doing well, who were collecting 50,000 for Shopee, who were collecting money for Shopee. I think there's another one under Buhari. I've forgotten the name of the scheme now. They were Empower. They were collecting money, those that were working. That program was not meant for those that are working. It is meant for those who have left school, who could not secure job, just to keep soul and body together. But this money, some honorables will sit on it. They will get slots, appropriate it by political party affiliation, and the purpose will be counterproductive. At the end of the day, to look as if the government has not voted money. So as far as I'm concerned, use that 32 billion naira, use it to buy shuttle buses. Use it to increase the number of CNG buses. If it is 100 pieces, it can buy, share it for states. Let's remove the burden of transportation. One of the things that takes money away from the common man, the workers, is transportation. Is transportation for people rather than money that politicians will pocket. Is it politicians that they gave rice as palliative for their own people and they decide to put them in the store? Some were rebranded, some became muddy because of the wickedness of these people that we are talking about. So for me, I'm not excited anytime government vote money for the vulnerable people, because the money will never get to the targeted audience. It will never get to the vulnerable people. You will see names flying up and down. Politicians will collect names. At the end of the day, those who are not supposed to be part of it will benefit the more. That is why poverty continues to multiply. The people that are rich, they are becoming like richer. The middle class has been broken. He said that you are extremely rich in Nigeria today, or you are stickily poor.
All right, Austin, that's the narrative here. But let's also take a look at this headline. EFCC battles internal scandals as operatives loot recovered assets. Now, police we also call them investigators too in EFCC. They are going hungry, and that's what it looks like. So they are saying that the exhibits being collected, recovered from people, national assets, are being relooted by some of the officers. And from what we are seeing, that no fewer than 27 officers of the commission were reportedly dismissed for misconduct and fraudulent activities in 2024. Is this not, or will I say, mind-boggling to say that officers of EFCC too are thieves here? They are recovering money from those quote-unquote called thieves, and we still have thieves also taking it within the commission. Now, do you think the EFCC can be its own judge in cleansing it's inside here that looks a little bit rusty.
Yes, charity, they say, begins at home. So they can really do a lot to sanitize their own system by sending away the bad legs among them. It's very, very important, because how can you have an agency that is supposed to fight crime in terms of financial crime? They are now the arbiter for financial crime. It doesn't make any sense, and this practice has been going on for a long time within the FCC. Maybe, perhaps this FCC chairman just feel that, let me cleanse the system. Maybe that's the reason why we are hearing about this. As far back as how many years ago, we have witnessed a situation where somebody under investigation will settle EFCC official to the tunes of millions of naira to truncate this high profile. Why do you think that EFCC continue to lose case against high profile individuals? Why are they not losing cases against Yahoo boys? Why are they not losing cases against small thieves? So it's a common practice within the system that have to stop. Because we see a situation where some items that are being confiscated, that are being recovered, that are supposed to be for government, is being provided for personal use. We investigated a particular case in Ibadan, EFCC division of Ibadan. Some boys were arrested, they recovered exotic vehicles for them. EFCC officials buying Venza 2015 model for 800,000. So the corruption is embedded within the system. And if we are trying to sanitize the system, we also look at the issue of remuneration. Are they well paid? Why can't EFCC officials be paid like those who work in CBN? Why EFCC officials cannot be paid like those who work in the NNPC, for example? Because, for example, it's just like putting the cart before the horse. I'm not saying that's the problem. I'm trying to balance the commentary. Because you can't build something or nothing. If I know that I'm not well paid and you don't want me to receive bribe, we are merely deceiving ourselves. So it's a welcome development that EFCC have decided to sanitize their own system, cleanse the system. They must do that with utmost seriousness and priority. One of the major problems we have with recovered assets in Nigeria is that recovered assets are being relooted. 𝐂𝐐𝐿 said this as far back as 2012, when Abacha loot started coming in, that the money that is being recovered, the looted fund, is being relooted by those in government. This time around, we see a situation where EFCC officials help themselves with recover loot from criminal elements. Some take bribe, millions of naira bribe, just to weaken the investigation and allow financial criminals to go free. We have seen it happen times without number. So the government must work on that.
Austin, on the front page of Saturday Tribune, we have this one. Road users beg Tinubu to complete Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Lament accident at abandoned spot. Now, this appears to be a major crisis point for many people coming to Ibadan. Do we see that 𝐒𝐈𝐒 should have some kind of visit on the president to say to him they need to actually put this road in better shape, because it's been there for a while? During Buhari time, it's been back and forth, and here we are with multiple accidents happening on that axis. Does Tinubu need to be reminded, or possibly have an high-level government reminder here?
Yes, they need to be reminded. I don't know the state of the Lagos-Ibadan Express Road now, but generally the report I get is that the road is very good now. So I don't know whether there are still bad portions, because some few accidents that has happened during the year time, we even had the family member that was involved, somebody that's very close to us, that was involved, that was not as a result of the road was bad. It was because of overspeeding and what have you. So I think personally I want to investigate this, and relevant agencies of government should be mobilized. Those contractors, have they been fully paid? If they have been fully paid, of course, they need to complete the work. If they have not been fully paid, of course, let government mobilize them. Because I do not think that the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway is captured in the budget of 2025. So the impression I've always had, like I said earlier, based on reports, is that the road has been fully completed. So if there are sections, maybe the Ibadan axis that has not been fully done, of course, the governor can also take it up, because it has to do with the people. You know, my grandmother in the village does not know the road that belongs to the federal government or the state government. As far as they are concerned, road is road. So the state governor can also look at that, calling on relevant authority, and let's know where the problem is. If we identify the problem, if it's the issue of funding, we call a relevant agency, let there be proper funding to complete the road, because that Lagos-Ibadan Express road is the busiest road in the whole of Nigeria.
Okay, Austin.
The busiest.
All right, we'll quickly look at this before hitting our first break. Bala Mohammed, Wike is a liability in Tinubu's government. Now, we know where this is coming from. Wike actually blasted Bala Mohammed over his rejection of the tax reform bills. And now getting back at Wike, he's saying Wike is a major liability. What do we do with these politicians who are supposed to lead, having issues vituperating about political power and who should say what and who should get what here in terms of Bala Mohammed and Wike's stance?
Well, it is about politics. That is why they are abusing. That is why they are abusing themselves. Those that are supposed to be headers. We really hear about national issue, intellectual discourse, except a situation where politicians will grant interviews and start attacking one another. Bala Mohammed has right to condemn the tax reform bill. You know, most Northerners are condemning the bill, but now they are making U-turn. They are proposing an amendment to the government now. So let's see how that goes. It's still about the crisis within the PDP. That is what is playing out. So let's hope that PDP is able to resolve their crisis in their best interest. If they are not able to do that, it will be shame on them. And the opposition can just, the ruling party can just capitalize on that and continue to hold on to power. Because even as opposition, they are not effective at all.
But the issue is that is that really opposition with one leg in, one leg out? You're having a Wike in APC government and at the same time a PDP man. And now Bala Mohammed feels, as a matter of fact, that the tax reform bill is hypocritical and very baseless. And this is actually doesn't make sense to him, accusing Wike and others of insincerity, and that there isn't any seamless transition in terms of whether he's a PDP stalwart or not. Now, if we put all of these together, would we say that Bala Mohammed is out of point? And would you also say there is strong opposition with all of this that has been playing out?
Bala Mohammed too is not a strong opposition figure. He's just contestation for power. He's also looking to hold on to the party. Does it mean that if Wike is doing one leg in, one leg out, there must continue to be crisis in the PDP? Is it not shameful that some people in PDP, they are only after the ticket, they are not even after the party? Right. They are looking at PDP as a special purpose vehicle to attain political position. That is what they are looking at. So if you look at Bala Mohammed, for example, he also has his flaw. The same thing that Wike is fighting for against Atiku is the same thing that Bala Mohammed is doing.
All right.
The rule of the party said that there must be zoning. Now, Tambuwal left as the chairman of PDP Governors Forum.
All right, Austin.
Rather than coming to the southern part of the country, Bala Mohammed is holding on to it. Is that equity?
All right, Austin. I'll have you hold your thoughts. We'll be back shortly afterwards. We have to pay some bills right about now. Please do stay with us.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned to 32 FM 94.9.
Oga teacher, abeg, wetin dey happen when my pikin dem come school? Why e be say dem go comot house very clean, when dem come back the difference no be here o.
Na because action no dey finish ma. All the book dem dey learn plus sports wey dem dey do dey burn energy. So that sweat stain dey uniform with tear and dirty shoes show say your pikin dey very active.
Na wow!
Your pikin dem need nourishing energy make you give dem the new improved Milo for breakfast. E get correct nutrients wey dey support energy release to help dem use their day well well. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo! Ẹ̀yin fans mi.
It's okay.
Ẹ lọ sórí gbogbo ìkànnì ìbánidọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ ní 32 FM 949 fẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ àsáàpù.
It's okay.
Imagine a night of fun games, live band performances, comedy, romantic buffet dinner, karaoke to serenade your love, and a free night stay with your lover at a premium hotel on Valentine's.
32 FM and Galani Shoots presents the ultimate Valentine's experience, Lovers Night 2025. Date, Friday 14th February 2025. Time, doors open at 5 p.m. till Mama calls. Cost, 50,000 naira per couple. Venue, Galani Suits, Jericho, Ibadan. Don't miss out on this incredible offer. Book your spot now and make this Valentine's Day one to cherish forever. Call 𝐂𝐈𝐒 on 0814 761 4024. Or Sammy's on 0703 786 8205 for more inquiries. Lovers Night presents an opportunity to prove your love.
Look into my eyes, you will see.
When the big names talk, they talk to us. Join GBOLABO Famous Call and her team of panelists on the podium
by 9 a.m. every Saturday for a deep dive into trending political and socio-economic issues.
32 FM
94.9.
All right, you're welcome back. You're still on to Break It On Papers Review here on 32 FM 94.9. And we've been speaking with Austin Uduma with paper analysis proper. All right, Austin, you might want to complete your thoughts before we went on that break.
So they are best of the same feather. Wike and Bala Mohammed, they are best of the same feather.
Right.
It's about contestation for power. A lot of things were not done right because people were holding on to power. Because the same thing Wike is fighting Atiku for is the same thing Bala Mohammed is doing. My last point was that Tambuwal left as chairman PDP Governors Forum. By rotation, is he not supposed to come to the southern part of the country? The position has gone to Bala, and Bala has never seen anything like injustice as far as that is concerned. Atiku emerged as the candidate of the party in 2023, and the Northerner was a sitting national chairman of the party. This were against the norm. PDP was the one that started zoning in Nigeria. It is not constitutional, but they started this. Some of the things that they have started, they decide to go against it. So whatever crisis that happening in PDP is a mutual crisis from Wike and from other big people within the PDP who want to secure the party ticket at all costs.
All right, Austin, we do have a caller here. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, GBOLABO.
Morning, sir.
My name is Ade from here.
Okay.
Good morning to Augustine. I want to comment on the away from government issue this time around now, but what Peter has said on the front and immediate rescue of the AIG's wife, former AIG. You can see when they all these rescue, I want to surrender. Like for example now, 2 days ago, I heard that Teji, a kidnapper in the north, his boys, they surrender. Boko Haram, they be surrendering. Some people, even during Buhari government, they give them foreign education. But why you see that all this has happened in GBOLABO? Where is Leah Sharibu? Where is she? Can they rescue her? That's the best to do.
All right, thank you so much, Ade. That appears to be a rhetoric now. Many people have been asking that question, but we're yet to see, and we're yet to see what the Tinubu government is going to come up with in terms of Leah Sharibu. I don't know if Austin wants to see a little bit on that, but we have a caller here. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, GBOLABO.
Morning.
Good morning, Mr. Hudson. This is Benjamin coming from Apata. On the allegation leveled by Oshiomole on accusing those ex-army chiefs that are the ones that are causing a kind of chaos in the health sector, I think since we know those, some of the people, we know them, we know their names, can't they be picked up? As in, I don't know. In this country, when you highlight someone, you saw some people that are doing what is not, and it's what they are doing, the activities is affecting the economy of the country. Can they be picked up? Sometimes they they told us that they knew, the federal government told us that they knew those cabals that are behind the terrorism in this country. The federal government said they know them. We speak today, Mr. Hudson. They have not revealed their identity. Now that they've been picked up. But let us in the matter go and speak just 5 naira at the market and be arrested by the police. When you see my picture on the newspaper, do you think that the country will move on with what when our government sees what is supposed to be done, and they are not saying anything, and they are not doing it? This is not making the country to move forward. Let us know their names, let them be picked up, and let them be tried. That's all. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Binga Mari, for that. The numbers are 070-55,949 or 080-97,949. Do remember we're live on Facebook, 32FM Fenye. That's 32FM 949 Fenye with double E's on Facebook. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, everyone in the studio.
Morning.
This is John Olaruwaju. I'm calling from my home. First and foremost, on the issue of Ibadan Express Road, I think a part of it is from Iwo Road to the Ojo. That part is yet to be complete. And yes, as you rightly said, I think the Oyo State Governor can go to the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to explain the situation of that area to him. I could remember the last budget they mentioned that road there. But it's a real surprise to me that it is yet to be completed, and that road has caused a lot of has taken many lives, and I know that the governor, the president, even the minister, don't let me mention the minister of works, will be hearing about this news, the life that is taken. And I don't know, like the analyst rightly said, I don't know whether the budget that goes into that 2025 budget. And finally, on the issue of mining, what's happening in Ibadan here? The person that's involved, the prime suspect, what did they do to the person? Did we hear anything about him? To tell us that if all the things is happening, definitely you cannot deny that the government is not aware of what is going on there. So to me, I don't want to blame the experts that are doing the illegal mining there. But why can't we rather blame the government of Nigeria that decided not to do the needful? Thank you and good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Raju, for that. The numbers again are 070-55,949 or 080-97,949. We're also live on Facebook, 32FM 949 Fenya with double E's. Austin, there was a question on Leah Sharibu. I don't know if you want to react on that. Like, nobody's talking about her.
Well, I think it's unfortunate anyway. But the case of Leah Sharibu, I think event has overtaken that.
Wow.
Unfortunately so, that we could not bring her back at that particular point in time. Negotiation actually took place, but the bandit outsmarted the government at that time and became what it is.
All right. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
All right, please go ahead.
In spite of confidence, what Oshiomole said, he knows as a report, but what can they do? Can they do anything? He knows. What they have said is, another person that has said it, they will arrest the person. Now, these are sacred cows. Why should some people be special? In a country that wants to develop, how do we develop? The mining sector is not alone. The oil sector is the same. The security sector itself is the same. All these security issues we are having. So people don't want insecurity to end because they are gaining from it. All those who are stolen security money, security votes, what have they done to them? That means we will just be talking. Nigeria cannot grow, cannot develop with all this. So let those who are involved, let government, let the president have the way to tackle it, to face them, to challenge them, to bring them to book. They must be in prison. That is the best way to do. Otherwise, we just striking all these things on the face. On the issue of what party, you see, we are yet to get over this problem. It's the same will. The will to tackle banditry should be there. Our soldiers are trying, but the saboteurs around them should be fixed out. And government should pay handsomely those going to war, the foot soldiers, instead of paying the general huge amount. They themselves must have good recovery plans and good environment. You see, let their families enjoy. And those who have lost their lives, let their families enjoy. This is the best way that they can at least sacrifice for Nigeria.
All right.
God bless you.
All right, thank you so much for that. Our time is actually fast spent. We have barely 30 seconds to leave the studios right about now. If you have to call in, the numbers are 070-55,000, 949, 080-970-949. Those are the numbers to call. We also live on Facebook. That's 32FM 949. Fenya on Facebook with double A's. Hosting, it's right about time we leave the studio. Any last shot as we get out of the studios this morning?
Yes, the military is closing in on bandits. I heard that Bello Tuji is close to surrendering. The military should not take any chances. These people do not have the right to live anymore. Just like the Russian president said, he said it is the duty of God to judge terrorists. It is my duty as the president to send them to God for that judgment. So we must not take anything for granted. Let us not, because we are closing on them, they now surrender. We now allow them. We now integrate them into the society. They've raising up arm against the state. Let us waste them by military power.
Wow. All right, Austin, we must say a big thank you for doing this analysis proper with us this morning. And we'll take this one as our last one on Facebook. Omar Adekunle says, APC is a forgiving party to any corrupt politicians that join the party. And the issue of corruption is the root of backwardness to the country. All right, on that note, we have to call it a day on the Break It On Papers Review. And we are back during the weekdays, Monday to Saturday again. My name is GBOLABO, famous call. And of course, Baba Fendo is up next. Please do stay with us.